Hello everyone, yours truly, Chrislevi13, and today when I got home from work, I saw something awesome came in the mail today. It came directly from the WWE, and if you may not know what that is World Wrestling Entertainment, the biggest company in the world for professional wrestling and sports entertainment today. Hell, back when I was little and it was called World Wrestling Federation, it was still the biggest company in the world. But then it acquired WCW and ECW in the early 2000s to become even bigger than it already was, with a video library that I don't think any wrestling company in the world can touch, because it's got the WWE Network, which is freaking awesome. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about what came directly via WWE, via WWE Shop.com, directly to yours truly. And that is, as the title of this video says, the Gift of Jericho, baby! Because I've had something on the list of Chrislevi13 for a long time. It's been on that list of Chrislevi13 for a long time, and I've been like, when do I want to get it? When do I get it? Well, I've got other things, dealt with life in the whole 9 yards, and finally, when Cyber Monday 2016 came around, I finally spent the money and got me something. And it is not just a gift of Jericho, it is one of the many gifts of Jericho, and it is a Chris Jericho t-shirt. Now here it is. Hopefully y'all can see it. Hopefully my lighting's good. That's the front of it right there. And here is the back of it. It says, "Light it up, Y2J." And the reason that I wanted to show y'all me getting my Chris Jericho shirt, my first ever Chris Jericho shirt, is because Chris Jericho is one of my 3 favorite wrestlers in the whole wide world. And when I say he's one of my favorite wrestlers, it's not just because, oh, I like his wrestling, oh, I like the person. No, I like every single thing about Chris Jericho, and that is being honest as I can be, because as you can see, I'm wearing, if you don't know what this is, it says CS. It was made back when he was with TNA, but this is a Chris Sabin t-shirt, and I love Chris Sabin. He's my favorite wrestler in the world. Motor City Machine Guns are my favorite tag team in the world, and I thought, hey, I got a Chris Sabin shirt. Well, I need to get my next favorite wrestler, and that is Chris Jericho, because next year, in 2017, he's going to go back on the road with Fozzy, and we don't know when he'll be back with WWE. Maybe in 2018, the year after, whatever it may be, So I thought, why? There are Chris Jericho shirts on WWE.com, and it was Cyber Monday, which gave me free shipping and all that for my stuff with the code CYBER. I said, it's time for me to pick up a Chris Jericho t-shirt, because I've been a fan of Chris Jericho for a long time. I can't remember what match it was, what moment it was that made me a fan of Chris Jericho, but I just know, when I look at wrestling, when I look at everything WWE, Chris Jericho is always one of the top guys right there. Whether he's a good guy, he's a bad guy, I've always been a fan of Chris Jericho. Hell, even when I go back and I look at some of his WCW stuff, when he was a Jericho-holic and he did have all those list of holds and all that, he was still phenomenal, great, an awesome all-around guy, And then he goes into the WWE and he becomes the first undisputed champion, beating The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. And not many people can say that. Probably nobody can say that I know of. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, you can comment in the comment section down below. That's what it is for. It's for you to dispute what I say. It's for you to comment on this video. It's for you to say, hey, I like what you did. Hey, I disliked what you said. The whole 9 yards. But Jericho, I've always loved him, And when I look at Jericho, his wrestling, his style of wrestling is awesome. I love the Code Breaker and the Walls of Jericho and just everything he does, He's fluid in the ring. I mean, before AJ Styles came into WWE earlier this year via the Royal Rumble, when he was back wrestling in New Japan and TNA, and I was a fan of AJ Styles, but Chris Jericho, before AJ Styles came, Chris Jericho to me was one of the top premier professional wrestlers in WWE. He still is one of the best wrestlers and the premier wrestlers in WWE. Sorry for going over my words, but people said, hey, AJ Styles is, I'm making a reference here, people, sorry about that. AJ Styles was the best wrestler in the world. Well, think about this. I think Chris Jericho and AJ Styles are par to par, because you think about this. Jericho, he went around the world before he got in WWE. He went around the world, traveled, wrestled in Japan and in Mexico in WCW, and then in 1999. That's why they call it, because year 2000, year 2K. That's why it's Y2J. And he came and he debuted in a promo versus The Rock, and that was unheard of. Somebody doing that, and that was phenomenal because I've watched that probably over 10 times, and I just love it every time, And the way that Jericho not only can wrestle, but the way he can speak on the mic is awesome. And nowadays, whether it's doing his stuff with Kevin Owens or even by himself, he's got the list of Jericho, which is crossed over social media. I've seen memes about it. I've seen it on Twitter. He's got the Gift of Jericho, as this video is called. I'm on the bandwagon. And then I'll take the WWE outside of it. He is in one of my favorite bands, Fozzy, and gets to tour the world. He's got an amazing singing voice. He has a great talent for music because he knows what he wants when he plays Fozzy. He knows how to get those guys together and they create awesome albums, And then you take the wrestling out of it, you take the music out of it. He has a podcast called Talk is Jericho, where he talks to some of the biggest people around the world. He can talk to wrestlers and musicians and all these different people, and bring us into more insight. His podcast is kind of like Stone Cold or Jim Ross or this person or anybody that does podcasts, And he's just everything about Jericho. And nobody sound like a fanboy or whatever, but everything about Jericho is fucking awesome. Chris Sabin is my number one favorite wrestler of all time. Nobody can change that, because whenever I first got into a wrestling ring, I got told that, hey, if I were to, back at the time, I said I was really serious about going to wrestling, and they said, who's your favorite wrestler? And I said, Chris Sabin. And I got told by a guy who still lives down the road from me, a couple miles, that I could be like Chris Sabin if I were to put my work to it, because I had my body size, look, and the whole 9 yards. But when I came to my second favorite wrestler, it was Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho is just everything, and to finally have the money to be able to spend a little money on myself, even though it's the holiday season, and it's a season about giving and all that, which I'm going to give. I've already gave money to people. I've got stuff to give. My parents, they're doing all right. I'm doing good. Everything's going great. Finally, to me it's just a t-shirt to most of y'all, but me to have a Chris Jericho t-shirt, something I can wear around and represent that I am a Y2J Chris Jericho fan is awesome, Now, if I want to show I'm even more of a Chris Jericho fan, I'm probably going to go out one day and purchase maybe a shirt for his podcast or maybe something for the band, because that'd be awesome. But as of right now, that's cool. That's awesome, and I'm going to represent it probably in some of my future videos. But I just want to tell you all, it's 2016. It's about to be the end of the year. It's about to be 2000, and wasn't in a few weeks. It's about to be 2017. And in this video, because it was the Gift of Jericho, I just want to say, through whatever you want to call this, taking a little bit from a pun, whatever, bandwagon, whatever, from the gift of Chrislevi13, I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you who have ever viewed one of my videos, liked one of my videos, disliked one of my videos, gave me any watch time, checked out the Chrislevi13 Facebook page, checked me out on Twitter, and the whole 9 yards. I haven't been uploading as many videos as I wanted in my heart, because y'all may not be able to tell it across the video because my voice is a little bit better than it was the other day, but my throat this week has been a little bit sore, so I haven't been recording as much Let's Plays or anything that I've wanted to. But I knew as soon as I got this t-shirt right here, I had to show it off. I had to say, hey, this is why Chris Jericho is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Why he means the world to me, Oh, and another thing, I even got one time, if you've been a friend of mine for a while, I even once got a tweet from Jericho, and that just made my day. I've gotten a tweet from Chris Sabin. I've got a tweet from Chris Jericho. The only other wrestler that could make my day getting a tweet from me. getting a tweet from any wrestler, but would be my third favorite wrestler of all time, and that is Edge, Adam Copeland. Those three, Chris Jericho, Chris Sabin, and Adam Copeland, are my three favorite wrestlers. Adam Copeland, Edge, are my three favorite wrestlers of all time. And they're my favorite wrestlers not just for what they do in the ring, but for what they do out of the ring. Not just for what they do in and out of the ring, but for their personalities and everything that encompasses who they are as human beings. But anyway, I'm going to stop jibber-jabbing because it's about 10 minutes or so. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Oops, sorry about that.